Morning everybody, welcome back to Boom Bag of Minds. My name is Vikash and I hope you all are doing really great. Letter writing, it is a very important part of writing section Cbse class 10th. Today we will start from the scratch, students, how you can score 5 out of 5. Yes, I'm correct. It's not at all difficult if you plan it well and if you write it nicely, especially the content. Now, we will look specifically at the content of the letter because that is what will help you to score better marks. Understand, students, scoring 99 out of 100 in English subject is not at all difficult, provided you have the will and proper strategy to score it. Now, let's look at the content of the letter. Just to focus, remember when you write subject, placing in order. Let's say if you are trying to inquire about something, you will write inquiry. And what is that inquiry about? You mention it. So first of all, learn to write subject. Let's focus it one more time here on the subject. Subject writing is very, very important. Why? Because subject will give us the idea about the content of the letter. What is that letter about? So when you write subject, first thing, write the complete word. Okay? Understand, students, when you get a letter for placing in order or inquiry, you have to mention placing in order, you have to mention inquiry. However, the other two categories, letter to the editor or letter to the authorities, will have a different approach for the subject. Let's understand, whether you write letter to the editor or letter to the authorities, you have to be very particular. Why? Because either the topic could be a positive one or the topic could be a negative one. Okay? So if it is a negative one, which means it is a complaint letter. Okay? When you talk about positive topic, which means it is about mass awareness. Let's take an example. Let's say I have to write a letter to the editor complaining him or her about the bad condition of roads. A very common example. So here I will write subject and then I will write complaint. Very, very important. And once you have mentioned the word complaint, then you mention what is this complaint about. So this complaint is about bad condition of roads. Very, very crucial. Remember, just to mention, you have to mention this word T because complaint is a noun. And if you use complaint, that is a verb. So it will not be accepted. Subject should have the word complaint. If the topic is positive, let's say, if the topic is positive, then how do we write the subject? So subject here you will write mass awareness and then you mention what is this awareness about. Let's say importance of science projects in a student's life. So I have written it here. Understand, students, do not write more than 7 words in your subject. It will become lengthy and it will never be impressive. At the end of the day, you get marks for the impression which you create through your writing. Now, once you are clear about the subject, let me just recap. Subject, placing an order, you will mention here placing an order and what is that order about. If it is an inquiry letter, you write inquiry. What is that inquiry about? Let's say about medical coaching classes. Next, if it is letter to the editor or letter to the authorities, you have to understand either the topic will be positive or negative. Positive, which means mass awareness, you mention it. Next, negative, you mention the word complaint and what is that complaint about. So students, I hope you have first of all understood about writing the subject of a letter. Now comes a very important aspect of your letter writing, which is the content. Because it has got 4 marks weightage. 1 mark is only awarded for the format. Let's begin with the content of the letter. And students, start studying. You know, you have all got the golden opportunity of your life. Alright students, so I hope you have understood about the subject writing. Now let's move to the content writing. Content has two parts, remember, quantity and quality. Quantity means 100 to 120 words is something you have to write. Second, quality, which will define quality marks for you. So let's understand, when we say quantity, we are talking about 100 to 120 words. Understand students, to write 100 to 120 words on spot within a short span of time is not an easy task. Therefore, you need to have a strategy. Let's take an example. On an average, how many words do you write in a sentence? Let's say 10 words. So you have to write 10 to 12 lines. Now let's talk about the strategy. Divide your letter into 3 paras. Para 1, introduction. Para 2 will be your details. Para 3 will be your closing. Now, how do we segregate it? Let's look at it. Now, when we say 100 to 120 words, 10 to 12 lines. So, let's say introduction, maximum 3 to 4 lines, not more than that. You should know what to write in introduction. We'll discuss. Details, 6 to 8 lines. And closing, 2 to 3 lines. So, if you'll have a calculation 6, 3, 9, 9 to 11, 8, 4, 12, 3, 15 lines, you will easily meet the word limit if you follow a proper strategy. So, we will start with the first part, which is para 1. How can I write quality? So, first para 1 introduction. Understand students, when you write a formal letter, it has got a subject, so which means line number 1. It simply means expand the subject. Whatever subject you have written, let's take an example. Let's say you have to write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper informing him or her about the decreasing water level in your city. So first here expand the subject. Now either you can follow this one through the columns of your steamed newspaper, and after that put a comma. I wish to. Here please focus. If it is a negative topic, you have to write this word. Complain about the decreasing level of water, of underground water in my city. This is one way through which you can create a very good impression with the first line. There are other ways as well. If you want, you can write, let me give you another option as well, with reference to the above mentioned subject. Again remember, I wish or I would like to complain about whatever your subject is. This is what we mean by expanding the subject. Let's say if it is not only letter to the editor, let's say if it is placing an order. So with reference to the above mentioned subject, I would like to place an order for computer accessories. Let's say if it is an inquiry letter with reference to the above mentioned subject, I would like to inquire about medical coaching classes at your institute. If it is letter to the authority, if it is, let's say, positive topic. So with reference to the above mentioned subject, I wish to spread mass awareness about the given subject. Okay, I hope everybody has understood about line number 2. Now let's take a look at line number 2. Line number 1, remember students, you just have to expand the subject. Line number 2, if it is negative topic, okay, you mention 1 info plus 1 info. Let's take an example here. Let's say deteriorating level of underground water in my city. So how will I start? Plus 1 info, since it is a negative topic. So you will say it has severely affected the lifestyle of people in my city. Let's say if it is a positive topic, importance of making science projects in a student's life. So you will start that it focuses on all-round development of a student because it is a practical knowledge, not the theory part. Next, line number 3. You mention it. How long have you been facing this problem? Always, if it is a negative topic, how long have you been facing it? So let's take an example. How will I write? That we have been facing this problem for 8 months. I'm sorry, always write it in words. 8 months. Your 3 lines are done for introduction. If you wish, you can write line number 4 as well, which is set expectations for details. Now, when we say set expectation for details, we simply mean that let me tell you the major challenges faced by us. If it is a positive topic, students, again setting expectation for details, then let me tell you the major benefits associated with it. So let's just recap. Para 1 introduction, line number 1 expand the subject, line number 2 +1 info, either positive topic positive information, negative topic negative information. Line number 3, how long have you been facing it? If it is negative topic, you mention it, we have been facing this problem for 8 months. Line number 4, set expectation for details. Let me tell you the major challenges faced by us, or let me tell you the major benefits associated with it. Your para 1 is done. Now comes the most important part of your content, which will have maximum weightage in scoring marks. That para 2 is your details, because this is where the examiner will focus and he or she will have an understanding. Okay, so this student has written this particular content, so you will get this much marks. So details, you remember students, 6 to 8 lines. Now how do we write 6 to 8 lines? Let's just quickly segregate the topic, positive, negative. Remember students, if it is a positive topic, then the examiner would look for minimum 2 features and a minimum 2 benefits. If it is a negative topic, the examiner will for sure try to find minimum 2 problems with that particular topic, and you have to write 2 solutions. If you have these things in your letter, trust me, your quality of the content is better and you have good chances of scoring good marks. Now, let's take a look at it one by one. How do we do it? So line number 4, I hope everybody has understood para number 1. Now line number 5, if it is negative topic, simply means problem number 1. If it is positive topic, feature number 1. Now before we move ahead, let's understand what do we mean by feature and what do we mean by problems. See, let's say I have a mobile phone and it says it has got 26 megapixel camera. So 26 megapixel camera is the feature of the mobile phone, and the benefit is if you take a picture, you will get maximum clarity. Let me say that again. Feature means what is the characteristic, okay, and benefit means how does it impact the lifestyle of people who are using it. So problem number 1, let's say negative topic, deteriorating water level, which means we do not have proper supply of water during summers. This is the problem. Okay. Now, what is the challenge associated with it? We'll look at it in line number 6. If it is a positive topic, then you will write another thing that, let's take the same example, importance of making science practicals. So, it gives the student exposure to practical knowledge. No theory. Line number 6. Now, this problem or this feature, how is it related to me or others? Very, very important. So, let's say when we say how does this problem is related to me, so I am talking about challenge number 1. If it is positive topic, I am talking about benefit number 1. Challenge number 1. We have to buy water cannons or water bottles to live our life. It depends on you, students. What quality thoughts you have, how do you want to relate it? Same way, line number 7. Problem number 2. Minimum 2 problem. If it is positive topic, feature number 2. Again, line number 8. Here, challenge number 2. Here, positive topic, which means benefit number 2. Understand, students, you have to mention minimum 2 problems and minimum 2 challenges faced by the people. Feature, minimum 2 and minimum 2 benefits. Now here you have already written 8 lines. Understand, students, not at all difficult to come up if you know how to write a letter. I'm not saying what to write in your letter, how to write. You will design your mind in a way that it will come up with a quality content if you know how to think. So let's move to the next line, line number 9, because understand, details a very, very important part of your letter that defines your marks, whether you will get good marks or whether you will score bad marks. So line number 9 now. If it is negative topic, solution number 1. If it is positive topic, okay, impact number 1. Next, line number 10, solution number 2. You always have to suggest a solution to the editor or letter to the authorities. That is when the editor will publish your letter. Because understand, students, an editor is a big shot. Okay. Now, look here, 4 lines, para 1, 6 lines, details you have already written, 10 lines is already done. If you want, you can move ahead. Next, problem number 3, feature number 3. If you want to expand more, then the challenge associated with problem number 3, benefit associated with feature number 3. Now, let's look at the next part of the letter, which is para 3, and that is part of your closing the letter. So, closing the letter here, very, very important. And we have already decided that we have to write minimum 2 lines, 2 to 3 lines. So, let's say line number 11. Here, ask the editor. Let me use this word. It will be really impressive here. Request the editor to edit and publish your letter. If it is positive topic, again, you do the same thing. Request the editor to edit and publish. How you will do it? Therefore, I request you to edit my letter, or if it is a positive topic, you can use the word article, and give some space in your newspaper. Then line number 12, express your gratitude. Sorry. Now when we say gratitude, let's just understand. It simply means say thank you. But you need to have a fancy way of saying thank you. Here, how will you say it? I will be ever obliged for your kind attention. Again, let's come back. Closing for placing an order and closing for inquiry letter. Now here, when we say closing for inquiry or placing an order, therefore I request you to send my order as soon as possible. I'll be grateful to you for your kind attention. If it is inquiry letter, therefore I would request you to please send me a printed brochure for detailed information. I will be ever obliged for your kind attention. If you would like, you can mention this statement to create a good impression, because if somebody reads your letter, you have to appreciate his or her time. If it is placing an order or inquiry letter, mention this: I appreciate your time and business with us. Otherwise, just stop here if you are writing this letter to the editor or letter to the authorities. So students, I hope you have got a fair idea how to come up with a quality content within a short span of time, provided you know how to think and how to write. If you know how to think, your mind will automatically tell you what to write, what to think. Students, start preparing. You have less time. Every minute, every second is precious for you. Trust me, the dream which you have in your mind every night that I'll score 90 plus marks, it's not far away from you if you have a proper strategy. Thank you students for watching me. Please do share your comments and don't forget to subscribe. You all have a good time.